Mel is back, but I have Natalie Perlin, my dreamboat. I've just been sitting here telling Mel like how amazing she is. I met Natalie in my stand-up class. Mel has also done the class, but me and Mel know each other prior. I'm the one that told Mel about the class. So Natalie, we are totally going to get into all the places you do stand-up, and you're currently in Tampa right now as we speak.
I've been a little bit off the coast of Tampa in St. Pete Beach, Florida. Nobody show up at my house, please.
So actually I have been there before, St. Pete's. I stayed in Clearwater and it's a beautiful area. I love that road you drive all the way down. It's probably close to where you are, and all those little beach towns you pass. It's just beautiful. Natalie, you also do comedy in Miami and New York City. And obviously, Natalie was just in the top 10 finalist for the New York Comedy Festival, New York City's funniest.
Get it, Natalie.
And to get into the top 10, like, that's amazing. She was with, amazing. And I happened to be in an airport when Natalie performed. So she was on the Mint app. Caroline's records on Mint now, some of their shows. So I bought the app and I watched her on my phone while I was sitting in the airport. And man, she killed. Natalie just annihilates it. But holy shit, Natalie, talented freaking people. There was a couple gay guys on there that I had never seen. They were hysterical. And I was just like, holy shit, that is so huge that Jordan Jensen ended up taking the whole thing. I know her because she's on The Cellar, right? She's been passed at The Cellar. I was so proud to see Natalie on that fucking stage. I swear. I was just
congratulations, Natalie.
It was amazing. So Natalie, let's talk about that real quick. Like, how did you even get to the top 10? Like, how does that contest work?
Well, so I think this year was a little bit strange because of, COVID and everything. And I did New York Comedy Festival 2 years ago. And they chose me for something called Comics to Watch.
That's okay.
Which isn't a competition, but it's another similar kind of showcase that they put together. And then they asked me to pitch them, some shows. And the idea that I was super excited about it, was to do like a red carpet, because I like to dress up very fancy for shows and stuff. So I wanted to, be interviewing all the comics and just like bringing my own like little red bathtub mat or whatever, and just kind of doing this like glamorous behind the scenes. You bought a red bath mat?
That's great. So
that's hilarious. Or a leopard one, but
oh my God, that's great too.
So that's what I was kind of thinking that I was going to be doing for it, because I headlined Caroline's for the first time in June. So it's really hard to be able to fill that again. So I was happy to, not have my own show and do kind of more like behind the scenes red carpet. I was really excited about that, but it didn't end up working out. And they didn't tell me until about, I would say, a week before, maybe 2 weeks. I don't even think 2 weeks before. So it was really, everybody, I've been doing comedy about 4 years, and there was comics on that lineup that, like, since I started, I would watch them and be like, oh my God, like, these people are amazing.
Talk about full circle. So you have only been doing comedy 4 years. Yeah. You were in amazing company on that show. Like, people saw you. Like, that is so great.
Everybody just did so good. And I don't know how I would be able to judge a contest, because it's like you're just trying to be your best self, and we're all so different, and you never know like what somebody's looking for. So
exactly. And you know what I loved about Jordan? She's so fucking dirty. She is so like, and the F-bombs and I swear a lot, and I'm always self-conscious about my comedy. And then I watched her set, and she won, and she is so raunchy. And I was like, all right, yes. You know what I mean? I love that she won, and she's really really dirty, and it's great. And she won with that material. So, and she's got lesbian parents, and she's got a good stick. You know what I mean? She has a whole, and just like Natalie, you've got a great stick too. You know, it's different, and that's amazing. Only 4 years. So Natalie, what made you start comedy?
I couldn't tell you. I think kind of like every couple years, I'll try to do something that's like out of my comfort zone. Before comedy, I was doing burlesque, but like dabbling. I've kind of always like started something and then kind of been like, okay, I crossed that off the list. But yeah, I took a class, did the showcase, was I still get so nervous, but kind of crossed it off the list and then didn't do it again for like a year. And then I was doing like ayahuasca and just was kind of like, I really enjoyed comedy, but sometimes I just hold back so much. Like I just don't let myself like shine, I guess. And it's a lot to have to work through to go on stage for me. So
I'm the same way.
It was a process.
But I would have been totally shitting my pants at that freaking finals of Caroline's. It was on that Mint app. So many people saw you, but you did great. So you got up and you did it. And I'm sure you were probably nervous as hell. Was that the most nervous you've ever been, or has it been?
I wasn't as nervous. So that day, I don't know if you were in the city, but I went to get my makeup done because I was like, oh, I'm going to be streaming on something. I'm going to treat myself. As soon as I finished my makeup at Sephora, it's hailing outside. Yeah, it was horrific. I was in an airport in Florida, but I did see your Instagram story, and my daughter lives in the city, and she said it was torrential. It was, I wore a dress with a corset, and I needed my friend to help me into the corset because I can't do it myself. So I got ready at like 11 a.m. because that's the only time she could do it. So then I went to the city, like on the train, in my corset, in my dress. And then when it was the hail, I was like, okay, I have to run on the subway and get to the club. I ended up buying one of those just like plastic ponchos from like one of those gift shops in Times Square. And I was the first comic there. I was so scared to be late. I was like an hour early in the green room, and I was like, oh, I guess everyone's forfeited. I guess I've won. So you got all fancy. I saw your Instagram, right? And your dress, your opener was a killer. When you said, I wish I trusted people as much as I'm about to trust this dress. Because it was really low. And she was like pulling it up. She's like, oh, it was a great opener for that dress. Now when I watched the tape, before I even said anything, I did like one hard yank, which I wish I could have kind of taken back. But what can you do? No, it was great. You did amazing. You shined. You really did. So are you from New York City? No, I'm from Miami, Florida. Okay. But you started comedy when you were living in the city? Yeah, I started while I was living in New York City. Miami, I kind of try to, go home for holidays, and, my mom still lives there. So I've done comedy in Miami before, but I would say 90% of the time I've been in New York. Yeah. So do you have a place in New York too, or you stay with friends when you go back? So I rent a room. I left during COVID, and then I came back. Okay. I rented a room. I have like 5 roommates in Bushwick. Because it's so yeah, I have a room. It's just crazy expensive. It's yeah. I mean, I'm happy that I have this place in Florida where I am a princess because in Brooklyn I live in a slum. Like I live in an actual slum, but it's New York, Yeah, sacrifice some. Yeah, my daughter moved down there, or she's in Yonkers though, but she moved down. It's probably been about 7-8 months now. And it's a nice 2-bedroom. She has a kitchen and a living room and a roommate too. So you're going down for a birthday party, right, Natalie? I'm going for a friend's 40th, and once I know like exactly the dates, I'll try to actually also send out my avails for clubs and maybe try to do a big show somewhere. And love to have you guys on it.
Oh, you're amazing. I just, I love you so much. So she just got off a big weekend opening for Jessica Curson in Tampa.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
I
she
think I saw
hosted,
you in
right,
her
Natalie?
stories.
Yeah, so it was so much fun. It was so cool.
Yeah, so it was 6 shows. And yeah, so Natalie just came off of that. Do you do a lot of comedy in Tampa? I see you have one coming up you've been posting.
I really like Tampa a lot for comedy. There's a couple clubs here that are really cool because New York's just so hard. And if you start in New York, I don't think you realize just how hard the city is until I've gotten to host to get to host for Jessica was so cool. And this past year in Tampa, I got to host for Tony Woods, Brett Ernst, the Legion of Skanks guys.
Yeah.
So I really like Tampa a lot, but it's really good for these 8-show weekends. But that's not every weekend,
I know it's tough.
I do think that I have to start kind of producing something here if I do stay for longer for the winter.
Yeah, a friend of mine that's in Tampa, she does stand up too, which I'm gonna have to get you two connected because she produces shows. Anyway, she was like, "Come down, and I will. If you come down for a visit here in Tampa, she's like, I will, do a show just so that you and Natalie can be on it. You know what I mean? So I'm like, oh, that's cool. And I love doing comedy in South Florida. It's by far one of my favorite places. My material does really well in Florida. I just, I think anything goes, anything, up here, I gotta be little, people are, even if I'm doing fat jokes, they get, oh, I don't know, but South Florida is Florida is great. But thank you, Natalie, for the hookup. I did finish my application today for the festival in Pensacola, right? Yeah.
I've never been to Pensacola, but I have a friend who used to be a comic here. Now she moved, I think, to Little Rock, but I know she won the festival last year and had great things to say about it.
Yeah, so I applied for it. What the hell? Any excuse? It's in May. Excuse to get some beach time or whatever. I don't know. We'll see. It's so tough there. It's the thing about Natalie, though, she is not like the rest of them. You are different. And that's, you stand out, which is, you've got that going for you. You know what I mean? Not only are you funny, but there's so many of the same. You've seen one straight 32-year-old guy there, so they kind of all blend. Same but Natalie stands out.
I do think that when someone is we need a woman on our show, and then they pick me, it's they're getting 10 women in one,
Yeah.
So I think that sometimes that I do get kind of lucky in the beginning that I'm different, and it's but even, I think from the beginning I've been very lucky, but it's still so discouraging. So
it is.
I think it's just hard for everybody.
It's
we
hard
all, I think, always feel it's just not enough sometimes.
I know. How do you do in Florida, South Florida? Do you get booked there a lot?
So I haven't been really to Miami since I've been for a few days at a time, but
yeah, okay.
For about a year.
Oh,
it's been
all
a
right.
while. I was there in August, but not really for comedy as much. But I will be there for a couple weeks. I'm gonna host for Gilbert Gottfried in Fort Lauderdale at a place that I've never been to.
What's it called?
The Fields, Shamrock's Irish pub in Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know, but he's a good get.
And I know I'm doing my friend Polly has a show called Freddie and the Flamingos with another comic. I know I'm doing a New Year's show in Miami, and I'll probably stay those 2 weeks. So I'll let you know how it goes. I mean, yeah, I know that Miami has a cool scene.
Yeah, hit up Brittany.
Everywhere's so different,
Yeah, if Brittany's hit up Brittany Brown.